Hello, chess aficionados. I am bringing to you today a fantastic game by Magnus. He does it again against Richard Rapport. Rapport, I guess how you say it. Anyway, this is the TATA Steel 84th Masters 2022. This happened on the it says 21st. Okay, and this is round 6. So here we go. Magnus is white. Richard is black. And of course, Magnus is the world champion, just in case you're very new to this. And here I want us to focus on the activity of the White Queen. Okay, so on this chapter here, it's good to focus with these masters. They're such deep thinkers, especially Magnus Carlsen, who has defended his championship again just recently. How deeply you have to think and how far ahead you have to think, and that takes talent, study, and many things influence this. So let's continue with the game. So knight f3, d5, d4. Okay, meeting in the center is called the open Catalan opening, and openings are what it's kind of like the entrance to a mountain. You know, there's different roads to get to the same place. So this is like one road to get to a place, and openings can range from 5 to 15 depending, and then there are variations. And so when you get to know chess deeper at this highest level, you have to know your openings, and then it deviates, and then it becomes just you swimming in the open oceans. But openings are something you don't worry about in the beginning. Just play and learn. The more advanced you are, the more you will have to know your openings, because your opponents will know openings and the greatest games that have been played and what worked, what did not, which has a better move versus another. So there's a lot of memory, but there's a lot of also thinking of novel moves. Novel moves is that something that has not been seen before and that would surprise your opponent if you're on the same level, knowing the opening, obviously. So obviously that's risky because there are not that many variations unless you're a supercomputer and you can do that really fast. But anyway, that's why the old chess was so nice. It just was a pure raw, your brain against the other. Now we have these computers, and who knows how many hours you will spend in front of a computer in order to understand some concept. But here we go. Continue. Okay, knight f6. Look at the symmetry here. Now what is this doing? This is protecting, okay, and also making sure that this pawn does not go here unless it wants to be taken. You know, protectors and defenders has to be even or more. Okay, c4. So now we're attacking that pawn. E6, protecting the pawn. Just giving a quick by what's going on. G3. Interesting move. Opening up the bishop probably here. Okay, opening up the bishop. We take here on c4. Yep, there you go. There's a plan. This is a fianchetto bishop, staring all the way. So this pawn is weak. If this bishop moves, this is an automatic weak pawn. If this knight moves, so it's kind of forecasting the future. You know, like the winds blow in a certain way. You know what the weather will be like. That's the same in chess. The winds are blowing a certain way. That now this is restricted. The bishop, either you move this pawn, but then your rook is exposed, which is quite a strong piece at the end game, especially. You don't want to lose that. Or you know, there are different ways that you gotta keep an eye on this bishop now. Either kick it away from this fianchetto line, or do some kind of counterattack. Okay, so now it's protecting again this line for the moment by doing knight f to c6. Okay, so he takes the time to take a breath and castle. You want to usually castle before the 10th move of the game. Otherwise, it's probably going to be too late because there are certain rules in castling. You cannot go through a check, for example. So castling usually in the first 10 moves. is what we need to do. Otherwise, it might be too late. Never know, but always exceptions, but that's a general idea. Okay, so after the castling, okay, we are moving the rook. Okay, getting out of this bishop's way. So maybe Carlsen's plans will change now, since there's no longer a target to be looking at, and this is blocking this pawn and still protecting, but now it's being protected. This weak pawn is now, forecasting ahead, being protected by this rook, the movement of the rook, which means now this king will not be able to castle this on this side. Okay, it still has a chance on this side, but on the queen side, it has no, the rules go that you cannot castle. If you move either the rook or the king, at this point, no castling there. So, all right, the bishop moves in to e3. The bishop moves out, so this opens this king to be able to castle, if he chooses to do so. Okay, attacking this and also protecting this line here. So just development. Now notice the queen move. Watch how the white queen, this is a study of the beauty of how Magnus Carlsen moves his queen around to get what he wants. Okay, so the queen is moved. Do you know why? Look at this. Who's protecting this pawn? Who's protecting this pawn? Is this being protected? Meaning, is there a defender here? It is not being protected. So obviously, what will black do? Protect it. Yes, it will protect it. You want to protect all your pawns? You want to protect your pieces? Yes, you do want to protect your pieces. I do, Claire. You do want to. I have my coffee. No, I didn't. I have my tea. Regular tea. Lipton tea. Okay, let's take a breather. It's getting spicy here. Okay, but now let's see. Black is a little reactionary. Have you noticed? White moves and black has to react. So who's taking the tango here? Who's moving the tango, right? The tango is being done by white. Because the tango, the man usually moves the woman around. You have to go right to the left. There's got to be leader. So who's the leader here? At this point, it's Magnus, because black is reactionary. b3, we keep the pressure on this pawn. Okay. So we just move and do fianchetto again. This is a very interesting situation. We're fianchettoing the black bishop, kind of shutting down any ideas for this area here. Bishop, the pawn takes. Okay, so we are reducing pawns, slowly upping up the left side. Notice again what's happening here. Queen takes. This is what I mean. This is like a goal in soccer. This is a goal in soccer, and everybody would say goal in soccer. Well, the goal here is he took and ate the pawn. Look at that. That's weak. Pretty weak. We did not defend this pawn. And you say, oh, it's just a pawn. A pawn. What about a pawn? But that thing adds up. Did the pawn become promoted to like a queen? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, the pressure is on. Okay. He wanted to take the pawn, and he did. Voila. Took him a couple moves, but Magnus took the pawn. Notice the queen. I told you about this queen. So, knight moves out. It is protecting by the bishop. So, now we are attacking the knight. Knight moves back. Do you see this is like a wasted move? Huh? Would you say it's like a wasted move? Losing tempo. When we talked about chess, when we're kind of like having back pedal, we are losing tempo. But this move is still protected, and he's now attacking this bishop, you see. So it has some fruitfulness, would you say? So will Magnus take this threat on or ignore it? Well, he decided to now attack the knight. Ha ha ha! And the knight is pinned. Ladies and gentlemen, this knight is pinned. And what does that mean? It means if it moves now, we take the queen. Do we want that? We don't want that. So now the knight has to defend this square. It's kind of immobilized unless you figure out that you want to kick out the bishop. So what will black do? What shall black do? Oh, decides to castle. Okay, decides to castle at this point in time. Okay. Alrighty, so the bishop was not kicked out. Now we move in with the knight. Magnus always has a plan with the knight. Watch out those knights. Okay, developing that knight out of its starting position. It is now interesting protecting this queen. So any moves protecting this queen. Interesting. Interesting, very interesting. I'm sure there are also deeper reasons. Now he decides to kick out the bishop after castling. Okay. Well, okay. See, there's a lot of a give and take in chess, a give and take, like a tug of war, stronger, weaker, weaker, stronger, depending, you know, who's got, and whoever is the strongest will pull the other side in. It's like a magnet, you know, because he takes, and we take. So there's some taking of material, exchanging there. So now we are continuing to protect the queen. What is going to be the focus now? Knight moves back. Knight, the queen attacks. Notice how the queen is now being very active quite early here. All right, so we move off with the pawn. So now we interesting move to a7. He's planning something. There's no idle moves in Magnus's brain. There are no idle moves. So let's continue. All right, the bishop is out of the way, but it's taken. It's just taken. I don't understand. It just went there and just got taken. Okay, I will breathe. Okay, I will just breathe. Breathe. It just got taken. All right. Then we take on d4. We are elevating here our rook to a2. The queen moves out. We are having this little side, little pawn on the move. Okay, it looks like this d file is getting pretty crowded. It doesn't matter to Magnus. He goes there and moves into the d file. So now we are attacking the pawn and the queen at the same time. So we just move down to attack the rook. Now the pawn is being attacked by the knight. So we just move it out of the way. See the tempo here? It's just in time to get out of hot water. Magnus has this ability to just in time to get out of hot water. At the same time improving his position, you see? This double whammy. So now he takes the queen. Richard takes the queen in. Okay, so he moves out to attack this line where the knight is and the queen. So the knight. Very good move. Excellent move right here. So let's see, the bishop moves back. He slowly has a plan with his rooks. Another rook went up to c2. Now we are attacking the queen. The queen just moves out of the way. Look how it finds a way to hide. Do you see that? Do you see the triangulation of how he finds a way to hide? And ladies and gentlemen, who's protecting this rook? Is anybody protecting this rook? Huh. Okay. Well, now we are protecting again on defense. This feels like defense. Very little offense here by black. Excuse me. So what's the crucial move here? We take. Oh, excuse me. So do you see now? He forecasted that if he does this move, he better have his rook protecting his other rook. Excuse me. So we move in on this rook. We take, he take. Wow. Interesting. So we are now about to promote. Very interesting game. So he's willing to lose material, but he has a side idea here of promoting the pawn. This is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit smoke and mirrors, a little bit of magic here. A little bit of deviation from here to here. It's like Magnus has more than one plan in mind. If one plan doesn't work, another plan is coordinated. It's somehow this amazing way of coordinating pieces to, if one plan falls through, the other one is ready to be implemented. That's amazing. It's very amazing type of play. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. Hit like and subscribe, and I shall bring you some other ideas. But this one was about how this queen was able to do many things here. Alrighty, thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Keep watching and keep playing.